Hi everyone, this is Lekha Ananya and I'm so thankful and glad you're here. So today we are going to talk about what is self-healing and what are its four core pillars. When I wanted to discuss with you guys about how to heal and what is self-healing, I have written down these four things as the four core pillars, and this is solely from my personal experience. So what is self-healing? So self-healing is doing the work or healing, that is becoming aware of your coping mechanisms and all of the limited beliefs and the qualities and the patterns that have been embedded within you throughout your life. So self-healing is becoming aware of all of your conditioned beliefs, your coping mechanisms, your patterns, and consciously creating the version of yourself which would actually manifest abundance in everything, in every aspect, and which would actually enhance their core, actual, genuine, authentic personality. So, now, very first step to self healing would be self awareness. So, when I say self awareness, um, I'm not using the word awareness here, but I'm saying self awareness because you can be aware when people are telling you things. But self awareness is when you inherently become aware of your coping mechanisms or your choices or your subconscious beliefs or your insecurities and your patterns. Now, let's talk about a small example on how you can start working on your self awareness. So, let's say that you and your friend had a heated argument, and both of you all are, kind of getting heated up and throwing words at each other. And at one point, your friend says, Ananya, stop being too dramatic. I mean, you're dragging the issue. So, when your friend suddenly says that, it might trigger you so much. You suddenly are triggered and you either want to lash out, you want to shut down, or you want to over explain things to her. So that's when you got to take a step back and pause yourself. And before reacting, you need to think for yourself, why did this trigger me? Is there some sole reason on why it triggered me when she said I'm being dramatic? Is it because I am explaining? And why does she think I'm over explaining? And when you start digging it deeper, you understand that it's coming from your own personal experience. Probably in your childhood, people must have not heard you enough. Maybe you're not heard enough at your home. Maybe you have dysfunctional parents who sort of never really listen to your versions and they just try to, gaslight you. Probably you've never had people who understood you. So, having your heart on sleeve since your childhood would have probably been an issue for people around you, whereas it's naturally a very healthy thing to be able to, express. So, there's a reason why, you get triggered for everything, and finding that root cause on why you're triggered helps you um, understand how to respond rather than reacting. You can take a step back and you can tell her, hey, this is really triggering for me, and I am really going to take some time to actually get back to you because I personally have experience or a bad experience regarding what you just said. So, take a step back. I know it's not something you can do in a day or two, but this should be a conscious practice. When you are self aware, you understand that most of the times people are not really, talking about you. It's them projecting their own unhealed trauma. So, you should never take it personally. It's actually about you and your personal experiences whenever you get, whenever you feel bad or get hurt. It's never about them. So once you have worked on becoming self aware about yourself or others, or identifying patterns in you or other people, the next step is emotional intellectuality or emotional maturity. This is personally for me the whole root, the sole point or core pillar of self healing, because if you're not emotionally mature or emotionally intellectual, even if you're self aware, there wouldn't be, you know, any use. So let's just say that an emotionally mature person, I wouldn't say someone who's always strong. That's not the point about being emotionally mature, or someone who always understands things. An emotionally mature person is someone who is able to sit with his or her feelings and who is able to be okay with being vulnerable. He or she understand that being vulnerable is actually a strength, and they know how to handle their emotions rather than coping with difficult scenarios. So, let's just say that you have had a breakup, or probably, you know, you have been dumped by someone that you have really invested so much time on. Now, if you're not emotionally mature, you would end up going to the clubs, or you would end up partying, drinking, overindulging in food, junk, and you're just trying to suppress your emotions by escaping your emotions, and instead of feeling it, you actually are like, you know, it's okay, I'm fine. So you are actually lying to yourself, whereas that's not what is strength. Emotionally mature person is able to understand that he needs to sit with his feelings, let it be crying out, or like writing it down, journaling, or probably just sharing it or venting it out with someone that you really believe in, your family, your friends, or probably taking a walk or meditating or breath work, either of these things. But you need to let your emotions out in whatever form that works for you. Otherwise, you're only going to suppress your emotions, which will make it harder for you to heal, because you are actually building up your traumas the more that you suppress your emotions. So, emotionally mature people are also able to understand that multiple perceptions can exist at once. They understand that everybody can have their own opinions, even if that's the person that they love, that they want to settle down with, and they are okay and they respect that everybody can have their own opinions, and they do not try to, you know, defend their opinion or try to prove. So they are very secure within themselves. And the other point that proves that you're emotionally mature is you do not judge people based on the things they do. Now, I'm not saying I am a saint, but with time, I have practiced on not judging people at all. But it is worth it when you do it. When you see someone behaving horribly, I'm not saying you're supposed to entertain it, but it's never personal. People are usually only projecting from their unhealed traumas. So, not taking things personally is one of the main points of being wise and emotionally mature. So now that we have established on how you can become aware and then become emotionally mature and have the capability to empathize and work on your own emotions, the next point is reparenting. Now, what do I mean by reparenting? When I say reparenting, I actually would like to start off talking about the people who have grown up in dysfunctional families. Um, I'm sure not all of us are blessed in families where our parents had lots of time to spend with us. Probably there are a lot of parents who are very inexpressive. They don't know how to show you love, how to hug you, and how to actually, you know, soothe you when you're hurt. The whole point of reparenting is you become aware, like we discussed in the initial point, you become aware that even your parents are people with unhealed traumas, because they are also human beings. They have been through so much in their own lives, and sometimes they do not know how to talk to you. Understanding that our parents are the people who are just individuals having their own traumas, it makes it easier for you to understand on how you can parent yourself. You can actually start parenting yourself as a wise parent. Sit down and think about everything that you didn't receive in your childhood. It could have been money, it could have been love, it could have been physical affection, it could have been quality time from your people. And if you received everything, that's amazing. Like, that means you already are subconsciously a healthy person, and maybe you have other areas to work on. But once you identify what you didn't get, or what your inner child has been lacking since years, you start giving it to yourself. And there's this thing that I always say: you manifest what you are, and you do not manifest what you want. You only attract what you are. So if you reparent yourself, you start giving yourself the love that you seek outside. The minute that you stop looking for external validation, the minute that you stop asking your mom or anybody, how am I looking? How do I look? How does this suit me? The minute you stop doing that and start doing anything and everything that's authentically feeling like it's you, that you feel like this is me and you're happy with yourself, and the minute you start giving yourself the love that you always wanted, instead of blaming it or playing a blame game with your parents. I understand not getting some certain things from parents and growing up in dysfunctional families is a huge pain, and actually healing from it takes a lot. So I respect everybody who do that, because I've had my share in it. So, however, having said all of that, now that you have to work on yourself, there's nobody else that can do your work. The moment that you start giving yourself everything, you already are now someone who is aware of your coping mechanisms, and you are already consciously creating yourself. That version is being created on the background while you are doing all of this work. The final thing, or the final core pillar, is self love. I know you see the word self love everywhere nowadays. You see everybody saying, I love myself so much, I am this, I am that. But do people genuinely love themselves? Now, that's a question to be asked. If you genuinely love yourself, you are going to authentically accept your good and bad. You understand that we are all people with some amazing qualities, some qualities that we need to work on because they're all coming from a toxic place. But instead of beating ourselves up, which I have learned the hard way, because me being a Virgo rising, I've always been someone who's very hard on myself. So with time, I started working on how I can give my the shadow part, I mean the part that doesn't shine, or the parts that are insecure, love. So you need to give yourself enough love. You need to actually keep the promises that you keep to yourself and start doing things that you enjoy, and understand that it all starts within you. So the moment you start loving yourself and your inner child, you start attracting anything and everything better. Now, I'm going to make a lot of videos about how you can actually start loving yourself genuinely. And I'm not talking about your clothes, your external demeanor or anything. I'm talking about how you can start loving your character and your personality, and how you can hone it, how you can keep building it and evolving it. In my upcoming videos, I'm definitely going to talk about all of it, and then going to get into conscious manifestation, because we need to first set a solid self-concept before you get into conscious manifestation. Overall, I would like to say that you first need to become aware, and then you need to become emotionally mature, wise, or emotionally intellectual. And then you need to work on reparenting yourself and giving yourself all the love that you otherwise look for in the external world. And then you need to fiercely, ultimately start loving yourself so much to the point that you do not seek for it in the outside world or from anybody else. You need to be whole within yourself and know that you are enough, and having someone else would just be a bonus. Having someone else to love you or for you to love them would just be a bonus, and might be amazing for sure, to also attract fulfilling, happy, unconditional love and relationships. You need to be whole first, and that's how you're going to get secure, and you are going to stand on your ground, and you are going to be magnetic to anybody and everybody that wants to get attracted to you. In this way, it's not just a partner, but friends, family, everybody is very kind of, attracted towards you and your personality. That's how you set yourself up. And So after saying all of this, I'd like to just end the video by saying there are a lot of ways to do self-work, self-healing. And I'm going to talk about each of them in detail in structured formats in my upcoming videos. And if you resonate with these things, and if you are trying to sort out how you can start your journeys, what kind of style would suit you, you can keep following me, and I am going to get back with another video about self-healing. So till then, it would be amazing if you can comment, subscribe, and if you have any questions, please do comment below, and I would love to get back on that. So I'm so glad that you've been sticking around till now, and I will be waiting to get back with another video. So thank you so much, and have an amazing week.